Yesterday, Fox News announced that one of their most popular news anchors, if not their most popular anchor, Tucker Carlson, had agreed to part ways with Fox News effective immediately. Although there was no official reason given, a lot of people are speculating that this is a result of Fox News' recent defamation lawsuit in which they ended up settling on over $700 million in payments. So like I said, Fox News announces this yesterday on their website that they are parting ways with Tucker. 22 minutes later, I'm not kidding, 22 minutes later, Don Lemon of CNN tweets that he just found out that he was fired from CNN. Don Lemon, just like Tucker for Fox News, Don Lemon is a pretty big news anchor at CNN. And so kind of same story with this one. There is no official statement by CNN as far as why he was fired. A lot of people seem to speculate that it is because of the way he addressed a former governor of South Carolina named Nikki Haley. Apparently, he had recently come under fire for making quote-unquote sexist remarks about her. And I'm not sure how true that is. I haven't actually looked into what exactly he said, but he has been kind of under fire for that recently. So a lot of people are saying that that is probably why he got fired. Regardless, I was not joking. 22 minutes after Fox News announces this about Tucker, Don Lemon announces that he is leaving CNN. Like, nobody seems to be talking about how crazy this is. It's one thing to have these two announcements on the same day. That is pretty crazy, but to have them just 22 minutes apart, that fuels the conspiracy theorist in me. It's not that extreme. I guess it's not a conspiracy theory, but I could be completely wrong here, but I am going to go out on a limb and say that it's very possible that these two are in talks about starting some sort of a show together. And I think that this would actually make total sense, and I think it would be a huge success. Something that sells big in our culture, and especially in political culture, is debates, disagreements, and arguments. And, you've had shows like Hannity and Combs way back in the day when I was too young to be watching anything political. I was probably watching Rugrats, but I know there was that show Hannity and Combs, and it basically put a Republican and a Democrat together as dual hosts, where they would, argue about different, current events, and, the Republican would say this, the Democrat would say, no, I'm saying this, and they would, they'd argue. And the ratings on that show, I believe, were very good. And it's no secret that Tucker Carlson is more conservative and Don Lemon is more liberal. They obviously differ in their political views. Anyone who knows Tucker Carlson knows that he loves to have guests on his show, and especially guests that he disagrees with, that he'll basically just debate them live on his show. And I believe Don Lemon does this a lot too with conservative guests. He'll try to argue his point against theirs. So I think that, again, I could be wrong, but I think that this is going to happen, or at the very least that they are planning on making something like this happening. And if they're not, I think they should. Also, they'd be able to do all of it online, on the internet. It could all be on YouTube or some other online platform. Cable TV is a sinking ship. It's not going to survive for much longer. It definitely doesn't appeal to younger audiences, okay, so teenagers or people in their 20s, 30s, or even 40s. I don't think that anybody below the age of 65 watches cable news anymore. So I think this whole thing happening to these two gentlemen is probably a blessing in disguise, really. Even if they just go off and have their own shows and have their own careers that don't have anything to do with each other, I still think that this is a good thing for them. But I still do think that they should make this show. I think it'd be a huge success. It's got two recognizable names right off the bat, and it would make for great television. These two have obviously not had a very good week so far, but if they've actually got bigger plans than what we know, which I think they might, this whole thing could end up being a huge blessing in disguise for the both of them.